My name is Hans van der Loo. I'm the advisor of the President of the World Business Council of Sustainable Development. We have just brought out our latest report, Changing Pace, which has as a vision a world in 2050 with 9 billion people living well within the limits of the planet. That will require a significant change in the way we organize our economy along the big pathways of resource use, buildings, mobility, energy, power, agriculture, forests. I think that the transform idea is a very important one to contribute to the ideas how we can transform the economy to be a more holistic bottom line for industries that take into account both the returns on financial capital, natural capital and social capital. And I wish the instigators a lot of success with this initiative.
I'm Arthur Miller, and I'm interested in creativity in art and creativity in science. And what excites me about Transform, in that it's important not only for on the cultural and economic side, but also what it says about creativity, because it may also push the boundaries of creativity in that one will need a special and perhaps new sort of creativity to figure out how to have funds filter from a high level to a lower level and then back up again to increase the funds at the higher level. It'll be very much like an open system, like nature is, always seeking equilibrium but never quite making it. It has always been my feeling, both as a physicist and someone who has been doing a lot of research on the history of art and on creativity in art and creativity in science, is that highly innovative scientists think like artists and highly innovative artists think like scientists. And now, as a matter of fact, the two are coming together. And I believe that both art and science, sometime in the future, will fuse together into a third culture. And people in this third culture will sit at computers, say, and will produce theories that will generate images that will be considered as aesthetic in a new meaning of that term. So as it has always been from the time of Leonardo and Dürer and Michelangelo, that the scientists and artists are one and the same, now they're becoming one and the same again. A new culture is arising, a new movement is arising, and people are responding to it in a very excited way, because in some sense these days it's considered to be something that is perhaps a bit out of line with things, and so has this romance about it.
Hi, I'm Robin Brownsell. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer for my company Tasmore. I met Steve 18 months ago at a social impact bond conference. So I learned two things on that day. I learned about social impact bonds and I learned about transform capital management. I was excited then. Steve managed on the back of a fag packet to explain the principles of what he was talking about. And 18 months later and several more conversations, my knowledge of what he's looking to achieve has certainly grown. I'm a great supporter of what he's looking to achieve, and I think the global ambitions that he has and the scale are certainly something that will definitely have an impact in the future. So I would recommend supporting him.
Many years ago there was a movement called fair trade. We look upon that now as being somewhat of the norm. Fair trade chocolate, fair trade bananas. But think back, there was a time actually when fair trade didn't exist, and it took for years for it to become something that supermarkets stocked, and perhaps it was only when mainline supermarkets saw the opportunity to make money out of ethical behaviour that it became somewhat of the norm. And perhaps that's where Transform Capital can fulfil that particular need, where sensible capital, mainstream capital, can be diverted into sustainable opportunities. It's that end that I'm really excited. I'm right behind Steve Podmore, who I think is both tenacious and wholehearted in his approach to harness this great opportunity for a really truly new investment bank that could serve early stage companies with green technologies, with sustainability, to really make a difference at the bottom end, but at the same time providing returns on capital to investors.